Good morning. So, am I running a little late? I might be running a little late. I'm sorry. But we're all here now. So, thank you for getting up and making a little time for yourself to do some yoga. See, I have something interesting over there this morning. Today is going to be a heart opener approach to our practice. So my blanket, if I roll it up end to end, becomes really tall for me. And then I need to put a block behind my head because I'm going to be laying over it. So I thought of having my husband demonstrate, but I'll do my best to explain to you because often when I work in person with people, they still kind of line up off. So if you would go get yourself a blanket or a pillow or even a towel, like a bath towel, and bring it back. I'll wait for you. For those of you who may already have something like that, you can look over there and see mine is partially rolled up and then partially laid out because it gives me the height that I want. I often use a second yoga mat for people. Okay, well, hopefully people didn't have to run off too far, but so here's where it should hit. It should hit right under your armpit from here to here. So your shoulders will be on the floor. Your upper back, right from under here and beyond, will be elevated. Now, for some, the head drop back might not be very comfortable. If you have issues with vertigo, you probably want to have a block or something, another pillow to put under your head. But you'll still have the elevated heart, and the arms can either fall out to the side. So that's how we're doing it. I hope everybody has their towel or blanket or pillow. And let me go over here and demonstrate, and then I'm going to come back to talk with you while you get yourself put together. So here's how it goes. So my blanket comes all the way out to here. So I've rolled it up to about yay. And then when I go to lay down on it, I want my arms above where the roll is and my back right behind my chest. And then if I were to lay here and say, oh, this is too much for my head, that's when I would take a block or a pillow and put it here. So I still have the elevated heart. You can see the slight arch in my back. And notice my knees are bent. That's my preferred way. Gives a little more support to the back. But some people are fine with their legs extended. In fact, some prefer it that way. So I will leave it to you to have your legs straight or your knees bent, and whether your head is elevated or whether you're good with your head down So your arms should not be touching the rolled part of your blanket or towel. So once you get yourself down there, we will kind of come to Samastiti. So when you lay, you should feel that your heart is open, a little more arched. So let that invoke all the things you might think of an open heart. Now, if you're laying here and you begin to feel, oh, not such a good idea, you can just get the blanket or the towel and move it away and just lay on your back, maybe with your knees bent. So this is not Shavasana. This is a way to wake up the body and open up the heart. So once you get yourself into a relatively comfortable but maybe different position, you can relax your eyes or leave your eyes open as we slowly turn inward with the use of our breath. Generally in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you're now paying attention and focused on your breath, you might become more aware of how your belly becomes full, and then how you tighten the belly, and how this plays a bit with your back. So nice big inhales and exhales, mindful of the core, heart open, shoulders relaxed. If you're familiar with the Ujjayi breathing, Then you let that auditory component, the breath moves through the throat. So we're laying on our backs with the blanket or towel under our upper back, arms above that in a relatively supported arched position. Doing our breathing and coming to the moment, coming to be present. Understanding our body today is a little different than our body yesterday, or maybe different than it will be tomorrow. So we come to the present to explore, to play, laugh at ourselves, laugh at me, in a way to stretch and strengthen our body and just be mindful. Each of our body is a little different, so you are always welcome to just do you, and that includes waiting. So if you need to just wait and not do, that's okay. Let's take 3 more breaths, and I'm going to get on my mat and join you. So listen for my voice. I'm a little further away from the microphone now. On your own terms, see if you can scoot your arms above your head rather than out to the side where they were. See if you can slowly move them overhead and explore where overhead is for you. Some people can reach the arms up pretty easily. Some have difficulty with one shoulder. If that doesn't even appeal to you, don't even do it. Bending the elbows, reach the arms above your chest, right up above the chest. Cross one arm in front of the other, because we're going to do the other side, but cross one arm in front of the other. As you let the elbows bend, the hands fall down towards your shoulders, leaving the elbows pointing up. Let the hands feel like they're falling to the sides of your body, and the elbows are up. Reach again the arms up. This time put the other arm in front. As you bend the elbows, the arms fall down, the elbows go up. Stay with our breath. Reach the arms up, let them fall out to the side. If your legs are straight out, go ahead and bend your knees up and separate the feet. Maybe feel with your feet the edges of your mat so your legs are wide. Begin that little windshield wiper movement. It's very little. Have that sense of exploration. As your knees drop to one side, you perhaps feel the pull in the shoulder of the other side. You're welcome to stay on one side for a while if need be, or just keep moving. Let's bring the feet together. Let the knees fall one way so you roll onto your side. Take it easy. Your arm is out from below. Take your top hand and help bring you up. Leave your towel or blanket. Maybe it will unfold itself, so you might have to refold it. And come over onto your forearms. So I come to my forearms. So you're going to see me lace my fingers. You can grab the hands or not do it at all. So my forearms are on the folded part of my blanket. Then I put my toes back into a low plank. Now if I prefer, I can put the knees down. So knees down or knees up, chin up, anchor your shoulders, draw up through the belly. Again, if you need to put the knees down to modify, please do. Now we're all gonna set the knees down, pull the elbows back. Your head may or may not stay on the blanket. It may kind of hang in front of it, or it may go to it. Depends on your mobility through your shoulders. So the hips go back and the head comes down. And you're gonna feel a lot of stretching through your shoulders, so go gently. Slowly come back to your plank. So that plank again could be on the knees, or you can lift up the knees and be on the toes. You might feel the weight of your belly being drawn down, and that's really where you want your focus, to pull the belly up. Once more, bring the knees down, the hips back. Moving into extension. Slowly coming up, walk your knees forward. For those who can, we're gonna sit on our heels. I think this is how I'm gonna be sitting in Japan. So sit like this. If you can't sit like this, go ahead and sit cross-legged, still facing the mat. So what will happen is one arm at a time is going to circle around. You're going to work with that range of motion through one arm. So you can be sitting like this. You could be sitting like this. It's a backstroke motion. Trying to go as full as possible. This is usually when we notice our limited range of motion. And when did that happen? Okay, leave your arm down. We're going to use that same arm. We're going to reverse the direction. For me, I'm going back and coming up and around. Trying not to let the body turn. Again, all of this should be pain-free. So if there's some issues going on in your shoulders, you might want to bend the elbow and drive the elbow up and around so you can get a little bit of work through that shoulder. Here's my last time. Other side. Sometimes you'll hear or feel popping and cracking. You may hear popping and cracking. It's not from me, it's from my heater. I'm going to go once more and change the direction. So I hear replacement shoulders are very helpful. I know one person just had her second shoulder done because the first shoulder went so well. But if we can avoid that, remaining factory equipped is what I call it. I'm going to go one more time. So this time I'm going to come and I'm going to lay on the blanket or the pillow or whatever you have, and I'm going to be slightly upward. So I'm coming right here at my ribs. Move this out of the way. So as I come down, not on my tummy, on my ribs. So my hips are hanging down, but I don't want to give in to the downward motion. You can relax your feet. So yes, this is Sphinx pose, but it's supported Sphinx pose. So my elbows are down, depending on if you have something here. I have this blanket here, so I'm going to move my arms to the side of the blanket. It is not really important. Anchor those shoulders, lift up the heart, and feel how whatever it is you have rolled up under your ribs lends support, but do tuck in your belly button without squeezing your bum. So another way to open the heart, this time supported on the other side. Now from this position, I'm going to turn the toes under and come to a plank. I'm already on my forearms, and I can do this by lifting my hips up, staying on the knees, or I can turn my toes under and lift my knees up. So I'm in a traditional plank, but you can have your knees down. I don't feel my ribs touching the blanket anymore. Keep your chin up. Go ahead and return to the Sphinx pose, lifting the heart, pulling the belly button up. So there are those among us who may have restrictions on extension so that the back shouldn't be bending backwards. This is a good modification, but remember you can slide the elbows forward if it's a bit too much. This one you have lots of support with the blanket under you. And last time into the plank, so be it from the toes or from the knees, bottoms up. Go ahead and retreat from the position, walking your knees forward or your hands back. I'm going to fold up my blanket because I'm not going to need it rolled up anymore. And what I'm going to come to is a standing position. So I'll move my blanket off, there, stand up without my hands, and we're going to do a little bit for the feet. So if memory serves me well, I think there's like 26 bones in your feet and 30-something joints. There's a lot going on down there. So I remember seeing a woman who had lost her arms, and so she did everything with her feet. So those feet can become very nimble. We don't use ours that way very much. We put them in little boxes called shoes. So what I'd like for us to do while we're standing in a Tadasana is look down at our feet. Now you can let your hands be at your side or on your side or folded behind to keep that openness, but look down at your feet. Lift up all the toes, spread them apart, and lay them back down into the earth. So now I want you to lift, starting at the big toe, one toe up at a time until all your toes are up again. It will be a challenge. So lift the big toe, the second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, the pinky toe. Lay them back down, starting at the big toe. Big toe comes down, second toe. This is much harder, don't you think? Third toe, fourth toe, pinky toe. They tend to move as a unit, don't they? Let's try a little different one. Start at your pinky toe. All the toes are down now, so lift the pinky toes. Come on. And the second toe. I told you we would be laughing at me or at yourself. Third toe. Look, keep the big toe down. And finally the big toe. All the toes are up. Going down from pinky toe, this will be easier. Next toe, next toe, next toe, next toe. Breathe. So lifting the toes independent of one another is a challenge. Can you do that anytime? You can, and maybe we should. So I always have us root our feet into the floor, sink the heels, balance on the edges of the feet. Release your arms, come to Tadasana. So we're going to work a little bit with our balance. We're going to ground into our, what would be your left leg to lift the right leg. So as I lift my right heel up, my arms go out. When I lift my right knee up, my arms go overhead if they're not hurting. Then the toe comes back down as I touch, and I stand on 2 feet. Root into your right leg, same thing other side. Heel up, arms out. Knee up, arms up. Toe down, arms out. Heel down, switch sides. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Shouldn't be a big change in your torso when you switch sides. So try and stay as stable with your core as possible. And we'll do one more time. Lift that knee as high as you can. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Returning last time, second side. And release. So you're going to do my full body side twist. So feet are apart, bend the knees. Your right foot will step back on the ball of the foot. Now without turning the body, the right foot will cross behind you. So you see the foot's there, not hidden behind my leg, it's all the way across. What that tends to do is turn our body. So you want to try and not let that happen. Keep your hips and chest forward. My back knee is bent, my front knee is a little bent. As I slowly straighten the back leg, the front knee bends a little more. Back leg straight, front knee bent, hips and chest are forward because they want to go that way. Check it out. Front knee bent, back leg straight. Your left arm, your right arm. Right arm up as left arm drops. So you begin to feel that opening on the right side of the body, pressing the heel down, the front knee is bent. Yes, it can be a little wobbly. For those who would like a little more challenge, take your focus up. Reach through the tips of your fingers, ground through your feet. Breathe deep. Open back up, standing up straight. Lift the back heel and close the posture. Pause here. Observe the changes. Other side, both knees bend a little. Your left foot goes back on the ball of the foot. Keep your hips forward as that left foot crosses over. Right now, both knees are bent. Slowly straighten your left foot behind. Press the heel down. Nice little calf stretch. Now notice if your body started to turn, correct it. Right arm out, left arm out. Front knee bent, back leg straight. Lift the left arm, drop the right arm. Now feel, is this side more needy, less needy? More stable, less stable? Breathing. Keep reaching through the fingertips. Open up, stand tall, and step together. So let's do that in a more dynamic way, moving into the pose in one big move as an inhale, coming back to Tadasana on the exhale and moving on to the other side. Let's begin with the right leg. So inhale and exhale. Other side. Inhale and exhale. How's your balance? Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Watch the hips. Keep them facing forward. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Inhale and exhale. Hands on your hips, widen your stance. Move your hips either in a circle or a figure eight. Action of Uddiyana, that belly in, and Mula Bandha. So let's widen the feet a little bit more and open gently into our hamstrings, which are always helpful for us. So my thumbs go to the small of my back. I lift up my heart, kind of like that when I was laying on the floor. and then slide forward. Just take the hands above the knees. It's like the bookshelf pose. The elbows are straight, the legs are straight. Almost feel like you're opening up your pelvic bones. Your sit bones are spreading apart. Careful your shoulders are not creeped into your ears. So the toes are pointing forward, parallel position. Shift into your toes. Both hands on one leg, maybe the right. Carefully slide down as far as you feel that you can. Big stretch for that right back of the leg. Now I haven't turned the body, I'm just kind of shifted over on that one side. Come back up. One hand on each leg. Bandhas, toes, have the weight. Both hands on the other leg. Carefully slide down. Still facing forward. Oh, good morning, hamstrings. Hands come up. Knees bend, one forearm on each knee. Turn your heels inward. Modified squat, push the knees apart. Go ahead and squeeze, squeeze, support, roll, tighten all the way up, shoulders down, and walk those feet together. So we're going to do some hip circles. You can put your hands here or out to the side wherever they feel like they're out of the way. So a little balance on your left leg as we work on the mobility through the hip on the left side. So picking up that leg and moving it around, and moving it around, and moving it around, moving it around. And let's go the other direction. Does this remind you what we just did with our arms? Yes. So both of those joints act in a ball and socket manner. And last time. Find your breath. Sometimes balance makes us want to hold our breath. Root into your right leg. Hands can be here wherever you want them. And now move that knee around, moving at the hip joint. So it doesn't matter if the knee is really bent or just a little bent. Hard part is getting it to the back side, I think. One more. Reverse. So how important is the action of Uddiyana for your balance on this? I think a bit. Last two. One more. And good. Okay, come to the end of your mat if you're not there already, and I'll join you in Tadasana. Go through a little flow. That will be crescent pose, some lunges, and then some of the poses we're going to have the arms behind us rather than where they usually might be, so be prepared. Tadasana. On the inhale, lift the arms, let them circle all the way behind you. Watch out for things. Slide down your legs all the way to the floor. Shake your head a big yes. Shake your head a big no. Bend the knees, reach the arms behind you. Come all the way up, finish that circle with palms coming overhead and to the heart. Repeat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, open. Hands come down the back until they touch the floor. Inhale, roll up. Palms together. Exhale and touch twice more. Inhale, circle. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale and hold. Bend the knees, hips back, chest forward. Stay forward, engage your core. Right foot, come together. Lean forward, left foot, come together. Bend the knees, tip forward, right foot, come together. I'm going a little further back each time I step back. Lean forward, left foot, and step up. Couple more. First leg. Second leg. Still the balance, right? Last two. And our last time. Second leg. Okay, let's move on. Bend forward. Bind the hands behind you. That can be grabbing the hands or lacing the fingers. Right foot or your first foot steps back. Straighten the elbows and stand up in crescent pose. Front knee bent, back leg squeeze the leg straight. Soften the elbows, lean forward, step up, stand tall. Other side. Bend the knees, tip forward. Second foot or left foot back. Straighten the elbows, bring the torso up. Crescent pose. Soften the arms, lean forward, step up, stand up a little faster. Forward, step up, other side. Step up, all the way up go the arms, palms together, hands at heart. Hands at hips. Bend the knees, tip forward. First leg or right leg back, long and deep, drop the heel. Stand up, warrior one, front knee bent, hips and chest forward, thumbs here, body has not turned. Lean forward, step the back foot up, stand up. Other side. You get in the lunge, you drop your heel. Remember that toe can't turn out very far or you're not going to be able to keep your hips forward. Remember, rolling into pinky toe, back foot, lean forward, step up. First leg. Hands are helping to monitor alignment. Other side. So I bet you know what we're doing next. Reach the arms up, circle them around, grab them or lace them. Lean forward, first leg back, drop the heel, straighten the arms. Warrior one. Lean forward, step up. Other leg. Remember in warrior, you drop the heel. It feels a little more grounded. Keep that front knee really, really bent. Breathe into your chest. Lean forward, step up. Once more on the first side. Chest and hips are forward, Virabhadrasana 1. Lean forward, step up. Other side. Lean forward, step up. Release the arms overhead, palms together, hands at your heart. Warrior 3. Step back, bend over, step back, right leg. Keep the hands at your heart. Shift into the front foot. Lift the back leg. Step back to your lunge. Step up. Just leave the hands at the heart for this one. Bend the knees. Left foot back. Shift to your front leg. Lift the back leg. Step back to a little lunge. Lean forward and step up. Let's practice again. Bend the knees, tip forward. Right leg back. Keep that integrity in your spine as you step up and lift the back leg. Step back and forward. Last time, second side. So in this position, this is your foundation. Then all you do is shift the weight and lift the back leg. Step back, lean forward, step up. Release the arms behind the back. Here we go. Lean forward. Step back. Straighten the arms. Do your best. Lean forward. Lift the leg. Lower the chest. Step back. Step forward. Stand up. Other side. Bend knees, lean forward. Second leg goes back. Straighten the arms. Shift into your front leg, ground into it. Lift that back leg. Lower your chest. Step back. Step up. Once more each side. We can do this. Bend the knees. Tip forward. Back. Straighten the arms. So ground into that front leg. Be bold and confident. Step back and up. Second side last time. Okay, get grounded. Step back. Release the arms, big circle, and Tadasana. Let's take a seat. I face you, you face me. Sit with your hands behind and your feet up. Good to have a moment on the floor. Letting the knees drop or roll from side to side. So this one usually we do at the beginning of our practice, but this is actually to release perhaps some tension in your back, though you may still feel it in your shoulders or your hips. Hold the knees up. Put your right leg out to the side. Drop your left knee down in front. Let me scoot back. So you have your left knee bent, your right leg straight. Use your fingertips to help get up, and you should be sitting on each one of your bums. It's a tendency to do this. So this one will lift up. There's space under here, but then I'm going to come back, I'm going to sit on it. We have done this before. Left hand behind you, or whichever leg is in front, that's the arm that goes behind. Reach out with the extended leg side arm, and that hip comes up, the other hip stays down. I reach across, I go back, and I drop down. Action of Uddiyana, I love this. Breathing in and breathing out. Take your time. Now the arm going forward should help the back manage this better. So I'll do that one more time. The next one I'm going to sweep up onto my shin. I know it looks like I'll be on my knee, but I'm really spreading the weight across my leg. Weight on your palm or your knuckles. Lift up both hips, press the pelvis forward, reach through the high arm, reach through the low leg, push the hip forward. Bring the arm in front, lower yourself down, switch out the legs. So see if you can get like this, kind of, sort of. Use the hands behind. Understand how important it is when you lift up the hip to drop the second one down. We don't lift both hips until we reach and sweep. Right hand back, left arm or extended leg, arm out to the side. Careful as you reach across, the leg turns in and open up. Lovely way to work on our range of motion through our torso. Bandha, bandha, bandha. Use your breath. One more. This one is my reach and sweep, so I balance on my palm or my knuckles, reach up, sweep the arm, reaching it back, pushing the hip forward of the extended leg. Just explore. And bring the arm forward and come down. So I'm going to leave the leg that's bent in, probably your right leg, and just fold the left leg in front of it, not underneath. So my ankles are not crossed. My left foot is in front. I can see my inside foot right here. So I feel I'm tending to roll back toward the tailbone. Rock on your pelvis so that you get very tall and the chest is up. Now I recognize your legs may not look like this. They may be more down here or they may be up here. Just got to be you. So lift up the heart and depending on you, bring the heart forward. Now as you're going forward, it should be, but you have to play with it because we're all a little different, the hip of the front leg. So your left leg should probably be feeling this more in the hip. However, sometimes body parts have to release before you can get to the hip. So maybe play with moving the foot that's in front forward a little bit and see if that's helpful. Or take the foot and move it over a little bit and see if that helps. Or if you need to, sit on a blanket. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see I am hinging. So my feet are stacked one in front of the other. I get tall. I keep that back straight as I go forward. If the hands aren't necessary, you can stay in this position without the hands. Not everyone can. Bring the hands forward and walk them out. And then ascertain the sensations. Where are you feeling this? How is it feeling? Walk the hands up, bring the knees up, switch the legs. So now the other foot is in front. Now again, it's not crossing. The leg that's in front is in front. The leg that's closest to you is exposed. You can see it. Now I'm rolling back. Look at my shirt, it's all rumpled. So use the hands to get up nice and tall. Maybe feels different on this side as you bring the chest forward. Again, if the hands are necessary, if you let go and you find that you're moving back, just keep the hands there. Move the foot forward if you need to. Move the foot over if you need to. Bring the hands forward if you can. Walking your hands up, lean over onto the side of your front leg, pick up the inside leg so that you can set your knee to the base of the foot. So here's my right knee as it looks to you, my right shin, my right foot, my left knee, and then my left foot can come behind me. I want you to see if you can sit here and just hold on to your legs or put your hands at your heart. It's likely that your pelvis is lifted on the left hip. Some people cannot do this, so if you need a help with your hand down, use it, or hold on to your legs, or remove the hands. In this one, you want to feel lifting. It's hard to lean into that back leg. Find your breath. And where you might struggle with a pose, if this is like just, so use your breath to help release some of the tension, and then maybe it's not so bad. Maybe. So as we transition into a twist, you have the option of leaning over to the right and picking up the back leg and bringing it all the way over in front of this knee and then dropping this bum back down. Or if that's bothersome to the knee on the front, you should bring that bottom leg out in front so you're either here in the Lord of the Fish or you're in this variation. I am not sitting on that foot, so when I drop my hip back, remember when we were doing reach and sweep, that's this. Now this knee tends to open, so the job of the right hand on the left knee would be to hold the knee up. The left hand is your spine support, so push into the hand and lift the spine up nice and tall. I always move progressively into my rotations. If you want to just look around behind you, feel free. I tend to go more mindfully, so I get tall on my inhale, pull my left shoulder back, pull the knee in, look a little bit off, get a little bit taller, maybe change the hand to the elbow, get a little bit taller, look a little further, bringing that back shoulder back, sometimes putting the upper arm against the knee and looking behind you. So however you get here, do you. Slowly release. Bring both knees up. Drop your left knee down. Put your right knee at the base of your left foot. So here's left knee, left shin, left foot, right knee, right shin. I'm not sitting on my foot and my hip is likely to be lifted. As you rock yourself back to get upright, ascertain, do you need the hands for support or one hand for support, or are you good? Taking the hands away. So remember, for this one, we're thinking lift. Breathe. Abundance, breath. Don't fight with yourself. It's not worth it. Coming out of the pose to our twist, I lean over. I pick up the back leg, likely your right leg. I can put it in front of the shin. If you can, put it over the thigh. Drop back until you're sitting on the bum. For those of you with sensitive knees, extend out the bottom leg and you're more like this. Left hand holds that right knee up. Opposite hand holds the knee up. Other hand supports the spine, probably the most important one. So get very tall. As you turn, breathe out. Getting taller, turning further. Here comes the sun. Nice deep breaths. return. Top leg off. So we're going to move into some downward dogs and planks, downward dogs and planks. In lieu of downward dogs, you can always go to the child's pose. So if you go to down dog, you can do it with your bent knees or your straight legs. I'm going to try and be still in the down dog for a few breaths, come back to my plank for a few breaths, and back to my downward dog. So we'll do several rounds of this. So how shall I start from that? Well, first I'm going to tuck in my shirt so it doesn't fall into my face. Spread the palms or the knuckles. Extend my feet back for my plank. Lift the hips, look to my legs, and pause for a few breaths. Moving to my plank, I lift the heels, I take the gaze forward, I load my shoulders as best I can over my hands. If I prefer to put the knees down, it didn't change anything, just put my knees down. If I prefer child's pose, I can go there. Back to down dog. Back to your plank, modified or otherwise, 5 breaths. Chin up. Down dog, last set. Back to plank, 5 breaths, chin up. Let's come to a child's pose, knees down, hips back, arms forward or back or behind your head. Okay, so we're coming to jackrabbit. This is a modified inversion. Not all of us can or should do headstands. So this is my precursor to those who do headstands. Now, if you're a headstand person, don't let me stop you. You're welcome to just go up into your headstand, and then I'll let you know when we're moving on. For those who choose not to do that, let me give you your easiest option, and then the jackrabbit in tradition. Now you see I brought a block out. You don't need a block, but it makes it somewhat easier. So as I come to my knees, traditionally this is done with the hands behind your hips, and then when you go forward, you grab your heels. For this one, because I want to be careful for anybody that has an issue with the neck, I'm going to hinge forward. My forehead is going to go on the part of the block that's closest to me, and my hands will come down on the floor. So there's my forehead. Then I'm going to roll up onto the top of my head. So as I come up to the crown or the top of my head, my hands are still here. If I were to feel like, well, I think I could take my hands off, I would put them into my back. and I feel I've had enough, I might want to put my hands back, roll back gently, and come back up. Now, for those of you who don't do this kneeling business, then you probably just come up on your knees. So let me show you the traditional jackrabbit, as it's called. So I come up, I put the hands behind my back, I hinge forward, lower my forehead to the floor or onto a block, roll onto the top of my head, and then for jackrabbit, I reach for my ankles or for my heels. If you're in traditional jackrabbit, you feel your head is good, move your hands to your back and slowly bring yourself up. So let's go one more time. Jackrabbit or modified jackrabbit. Head goes down to the forehead, closest to you. I'll not use the block this time. Roll up onto the crown of the head. This is where some of you might say, so maybe I should think about doing a headstand. So maybe you just lift up your hips. Maybe you move your feet forward such that your knees and elbows connect. Maybe you take 1 foot up. Maybe you take 2 feet up. Using the hands or taking the hands away, roll yourself back, and we're up. Okay, so we're gonna go to some stretching for our backs of our legs and the fronts of our legs. Yes, it's the S word. Haven't done this in a long time. You can have a block nearby, though you don't need it. So what will I do? I will put 1 foot forward, and that 1 foot's just going to keep going forward. And the other foot's just going to go back. And my hands will be on each side. So as I bring my hands down, and I kind of creep the back foot back, and I creep the front foot forward, and you just go where you can go. You may go, or you may not go very far. Not the point. So if you're pretty close to the ground, you might want to just plop over on that front leg hip. If you're not very far down, you might want to, if you're not very far down like this, you might want to walk your hands back up and switch legs. We could do this. Front leg just goes front, back leg just goes back. So again, it doesn't matter where you go. You just get to be you. Hopefully you're still breathing. So if you're low, go ahead and plop off onto your bum. And if you're high, just come up on your knee and get yourself to a seated position. Ooh, the sun is really coming out. So this is one where I'm going to bring my upper body toward my lower body at the same time. I think we did this last practice. Onto your back. Hands behind the head. Careful the elbows don't tug on the neck this way or lag behind this way, that the elbows are up and just holding and cradling the neck. As the knees come up, drop your feet. They are the extra weight you need. You can cross your ankles if you'd like to. So what will happen is the knees will come in towards you. You're going to feel a stretch in the low back. And at the same time, you're gonna lift your shoulders up. Careful those elbows don't pull you on your neck. So let the elbows kind of veer out to the side. So it would be this and this. Now you're welcome to bring your head all the way back down. I'm probably not gonna do that. I'll just come back here and feel the weight of my head. You should breathe out when you come together, and you should breathe in when you open up, when you're ready. It's not fast. You can probably hear me breathing. Your mantra is rest your head. Okay, let's come to a bridge pose. Feet come down, elevate the hips. Simple bridge pose. Could put a block under if you want, could snug your shoulders in, bind the hands if you want, lift up higher. Just be a bridge. Legs are parallel, hips are up. If your back is a little cranky, put more weight in your hands and your arms. If your arms are tucked under you, unsnug them, open up the shoulders so you can come down from your upper back, through your middle back, through the lower back. Bring both knees in, feet apart, legs apart, ankle circles, one at a time or both together. So try and use those toes independently. Just feel those toes moving. And if you're holding onto your legs, you can just feel all the corresponding muscles participating. It's very cool. Knees come together, hands again support the head, head stays up. So both legs will go up, they don't go out very far, and they come back in. That's it. There are those here who might want to go further. Get there on your own terms. There's no reason that you should go further than you need to. You're cultivating isometric contraction through the transversus abdominis, and that's all we need to do. Do not let your back arch and flex. Now I'm going to come all the way up. You can either roll to your side. I'm going to let the legs lift me up and then put the hands behind and sit up. Now you could have rolled to your side and come up. So coming all the way up. So let's do a little self-care for the feet. Feel free to go sit in a chair or on your blanket. Oh, look at the sunshine. It's supposed to be 70 here today. So bring a foot up. Sit however you want to. And just bring your hands to give a little warmth to the feet. What do they say? Cold feet, warm heart. Just bring a little warmth. And then see if you can take a thumb and kind of go under the pads of each one of your toes. Now this one's uncomfortable, not everybody does it. Maybe I should come up a little closer to you. This is, you know how when you do your hands and you fold your hands together? It's the same thing with a foot. So I have my foot, and then I have my hand, and I'm gonna see if I can interlace a finger between each one of my toes. I said I'm gonna see if I can. Until you get all of them there, doing the best you can. There we go. So that's that. And then you sit there and contemplate your navel, because this can be rather uncomfortable for some people. If you can only get your fingers through a few of your toes, that's okay. Hopefully we weren't the people that wore a lot of high heels, pointy shoe high heels. I had my fair share. They were just for dress up. Go ahead and slide those hands out and give another little rub to your foot. And we'll go the other side. So bring a little warmth into the feet. So I'm just rubbing my toes. The fact that you're sitting here with your leg crossed, and I've come up to sit on an ottoman, you can come and sit in a chair or sit wherever you want to sit so you can access your foot. Yep, feet are important, and as far as I know, they don't have replacement parts for it. So foot care is like an important thing. Okay, so I'm taking my thumb and I'm rubbing it under the pads of each one of my fingers. No, under my toes. My thumb is under my toes. You know what I meant. Okay, now see if you can lace those fingers between the toes. Good times. Wait, that pinky toe is fun, isn't it? Oh, I haven't done this for a while, so things you haven't used in a while can become a little more challenging. So I'm not here to ask you to be in pain, but moving our joints and having the awareness of what we used to be able to do and maybe today wasn't able to do leads you to know what you should spend a little more time on for yourself. Okay, detach from your foot. Maybe rub it out a little bit more. It's also good for my fingers too. Okay, so get yourself set up for Shavasana. So you may want that blanket to be a nice little covering over you. You might want it as a pillow. You might want to lay on your belly or your side, or traditional corpse pose. So that's with the legs apart, the arms by the side, and you just are a corpse. So you get to pick the position that is suitable for you. This is where I kind of step back and give you that quiet time. So you come to your breath with the attitude of gratitude, and you rest the body and all of your focus and attention so that nothing is there to ponder. No thoughts are buzzing around in your head. Maybe you're just thinking about your breath. Maybe you're just thinking about the heaviness of your body. So enjoy this time until I ring the singing bowl. Let this time be yours. And there is my singing bowl welcoming you back. Deepen your breath, wiggle your fingers, your toes, awaken the body. And take in the thoughts today, a quote from John F. Kennedy, and I'll amend it a little bit. So, President Kennedy said, "The problems of the world cannot possibly be solved by skeptics or cynics whose horizons are limited by the obvious realities. We need men, and I would add women, who can dream of things that never were." So if solving problems just meant doing the same thing we always do, we'd all be problem-free, right? To solve problems in our personal lives or the world, we sometimes need wild creativity. We need ideas that seem crazy at first. And some of those wild ideas won't work, but maybe some of them will work. But any problem only needs one solution. So thought for us to consider, how can I get myself out of a rut when I'm trying to deal with a problem? I'll stop censoring myself and look beyond the horizon of obvious realities. So with that said, which may or may not have any meaning or relationship to you today, we come to sit nice and tall. And in that mindfulness of remembering our bandhas and remembering our breath and remembering not to hold tension in our shoulders, we just feel light and relaxed, right? Let the arms open to the side. Lift the arms all the way up. And as you put the palms together and bring the hands into the heart, this is where we share that delicious word that means the happiness in me honors the happiness in you. And we say, Namaste. And I say, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for coming. I'll be here next Monday. Namaste.